What does it feel like to be erased from your own family story? I was 12 when I first noticed the shift. My cousin, Ethan, was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. He had a laugh that filled rooms, a charm that made adults forget their own names, and a knack for turning every opportunity into his own. Me? I was Lila, the quiet one, the one who watched from the corners, my voice drowned out by his radiance. My parents, aunts, uncles, they all gravitated toward him, their eyes gleaming with pride as they handed him everything: praise, opportunities, even the family's legacy. I wasn't jealous, not at first. I loved Ethan, looked up to him. But love doesn't shield you from invisibility. By the time I was 16, the pattern was clear. Ethan got the best schools, the summer programs, the glowing introductions to family friends with connections. I got hand-me-downs and polite smiles, my achievements met with distracted nods. At family gatherings, they'd laugh as they recounted Ethan's latest triumphs, his debate wins, his internship at some fancy firm. If I spoke up about my own accomplishments, like the science fair I'd won or the scholarship I'd earned, they'd chuckle, pat my head, and say, "That's nice, Lila. But did you hear what Ethan did?" It wasn't malice, not exactly. It was worse indifference. They didn't see me. The breaking point came at Grandpa's while reading. He'd been the one person who saw me, who'd slip me books on strategy and history, whispering, "You're sharper than they know, Lila." I thought he'd left me something, anything, to show he believed in me. But when the lawyer read the will, Ethan got everything: the house, the savings, the antique chess set Grandpa and I used to play with. I got a letter, tucked in an envelope, that no one else noticed. They were too busy clapping Ethan on the back, laughing about how he'd carry the family name. I slipped away, the letter burning in my pocket, and read it alone. Grandpa's words were simple. "Lila, the world underestimates you. Make them see." I could have crumbled. I could have let their laughter carve me hollow. Instead, I felt something ignitia quiet, fierce resolve. I wasn't going to beg for their attention. I was going to take it. For years, I worked in the shadows. While Ethan coasted through college on family money, I clawed my way through on scholarships and late-night shifts at a diner. I studied harder, not just to learn, but to master. I read Grandpa's books, played chess against myself, and learned to think 3 moves ahead. I wasn't flashy like Ethan, but I was patient, and patience is a weapon. By 22, I graduated top of my class in computer science, a field Ethan had once called boring, while everyone laughed. I didn't tell the family. Why bother? They'd just compare it to Ethan's latest startup pitch, funded by Grandpa's money. But I wasn't idle. I'd been building something, a tech platform, a tool to connect small businesses with local talent, something the world needed but hadn't seen yet. I called it Nexus. It was my chessboard, and I was ready to make my move. Then came the twist I hadn't expected. At a family reunion, I met Sarah, Ethan's fiancée. She was different, sharp, observant, with a quiet intensity that mirrored my own. While everyone fawned over Ethan, she watched me, her eyes catching the way I deflected their dismissive comments. Later, she found me alone on the porch. "You're not what they think," she said, her voice low. "I've seen your code on GitHub. Nexus, it's brilliant." I froze. No one in the family knew about Nexus. I kept it secret, building it under a pseudonym. Sarah smiled, a glint of mischief in her eyes. "I'm a coder too. Ethan doesn't know. He thinks I'm just here for the ring." She leaned closer. "Let me help you." I didn't trust easily, but something in her voice, her own hunger to be seen, made me nod. Sarah became my unexpected ally, the rook to my queen. We worked in secret, refining Nexus, testing it with small businesses in our town. It grew, quietly but steadily, gaining traction while Ethan's startup floundered, his charm no match for poor planning. The family didn't notice. They were too busy planning Ethan's launch party, funded by the last of Grandpa's savings. They invited me, more out of obligation than interest, and I went, Nexus humming in the background, now serving thousands of users. At the party, Ethan stood on a makeshift stage, his smile as dazzling as ever, pitching his app a flashy, half-baked idea that promised to revolutionize networking. The family ate it up, clapping like he'd already won. Then came my move. I prepared for weeks, Sarah by my side. During Ethan's speech, I connected my laptop to the projector. The screen flickered, and Nexus appeared, a sleek interface, glowing with real-time data. Businesses thriving, jobs created, communities connected. The room fell silent. I stood, my voice steady but burning. "This is Nexus," I said. "It's not a promise. It's real, and it's mine." The family stared, stunned. Ethan's smile faltered. I walked them through the numbers, tens of thousands of users, partnerships with local governments, projections that dwarfed Ethan's startup. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The truth was louder than any boast. But the real twist came from Sarah. She stepped forward, her engagement ring glinting as she spoke. "I'm leaving Ethan," she said, her voice clear. "I'm joining Lila. Nexus is the future, and I believe in it." The room gasped, Ethan's face crumpling. Sarah wasn't just his fiancée, she was his credibility, the one who'd propped up his pitch behind the scenes. Now she was mine. The aftermath was chaos. My parents tried to apologize, their words stumbling over years of neglect. My aunts and uncles muttered about misunderstandings. Ethan cornered me later, his charm replaced by desperation. "You planned this," he hissed. I looked him in the eye. "You had everything," I said. "I just took my turn." Nexus grew. Sarah and I built a team, then a company. We didn't just connect businesses, we gave people like us, the overlooked, a chance to shine. The family's laughter faded, replaced by awkward respect. They started inviting me to dinners, asking about my work. I went, but not for their approval. I went for Grandpa, whose letter I still carried, a reminder that being seen starts with seeing yourself. In the end, it wasn't about revenge. It was about rewriting the story. They'd given everything to Ethan and laughed, but I'd made one move that changed it all. And that move? It was believing in myself when no one else did.